Hey everybody, welcome back to the Wolf Pit with another episode of What Are We Eating? General Tso's chicken is probably the most popular American Chinese dish. And for good reason. It's delicious. If done right, you should have perfectly battered, deep-fried, crispy on the outside, and moist and tender on the inside pieces of chicken that are then coated in a tantalizing, spicy, sweet and sour sauce. And of course, when you order General Tso's chicken out, for some reason, the restaurants always include several pieces of sacrificial, overcooked, soggy, inedible broccoli. But just like anything that's good in life, there's obviously always a good part, but unfortunately, most of the time there's also a bad part. The good thing about making General Tso's chicken at home is it's super easy to do. So if you have the ingredients and the desire to make General Tso's chicken at home, I say go for it. And I hope that your chopstick skills are much better than mine. Otherwise, you're gonna starve. Now for the General Tso's bad news. Whether you order it out or you make it at home. The nutrition facts look like a diet for an elephant. Whether you order General Tso's in a restaurant or you make it at home. For an approximate 2-cup serving, there's 1,577 calories, 88 grams of total fat, 15 grams of saturated fat, a half a gram of trans fat, 284 milligrams of cholesterol, 2,327 milligrams of sodium, 1,075 milligrams of potassium, 128 grams of carbohydrates, 4.8 grams of fiber, 62 grams of sugars, and 69 grams of protein. But just like with everything in life, moderation is key. If you eat General Tso's chicken once in a while, it's not going to bother you. If you eat it every day, it's eventually going to bother you. And if you're on a diet of any kind, especially a low-carb diet, you're going to gain weight even if you think about eating General Tso's chicken. So eating General Tso's chicken on a diet is out of the question. Or is it? Well, it may be possible. Realgood Foods Company has a whole line of low-carb friendly foods, some of which I've tried before and loved, some I didn't love. So today, we're going to see how good a healthier version of General Tso's chicken is. This 18-ounce bag of Realgood's General Tso's chicken, which is lightly breaded white chicken meat in a sweet and mild chili sauce that contains no gluten, no grain, and no added sugar, costs $6.98. Out of 218 reviews, Realgood's General Tso's chicken got 4.1 stars out of 5. The most helpful positive review gave it 5 stars and offered a pro tip to finish in the frying pan. Is it just me, or do other people get irritated when people offer pro tips? It just seems pretentious to me, especially when you're offering a pro tip on how to cook a frozen food. But I digress. The most helpful negative review gave it 1 star and said it was false advertisement. Here's the list of ingredients, and besides all the spices, the ingredient list is very simple and small. There's 4 1-cup servings per bag. So since I read the nutrition facts for 2 cups of homemade or restaurant-made General Tso's chicken in the beginning of the video, I'm going to break the 4 1-cup servings down to 2 2-cup servings. So each 2-cup serving would have 320 calories, 12 grams of total fat, 1 gram of saturated fat, no trans fat, 120 milligrams of cholesterol, 1,060 milligrams of sodium, 24 grams of carbohydrates, 2 grams of fiber, 2 grams of sugars, and 46 grams of protein. Now keep in mind, the numbers for the restaurant-made or homemade General Tso's chicken are approximate, but after going through a handful of nutrition facts for various recipes of General Tso's chicken, the nutrition facts are fairly accurate. And the Realgood frozen General Tso's chicken numbers are astronomically healthier. But will the healthier version to restaurant-made or homemade General Tso's chicken? With my experience with frozen Chinese foods, I was very skeptical. There's only one recommended way of cooking these, and that's in the oven. And of course, there's that pro tip again, to finish the General Tso's chicken in a skillet. I guess a pro tip from the manufacturer is acceptable, versus a pro tip from a guy sitting in his underoos in his parents' basement writing food reviews. So we cooked the General Tso's chicken in the air fryer, which is simply a convection oven. And I love cooking in my air fryer in videos because for some reason, it upsets some people. I get a huge deal of satisfaction when I upset someone over something so trivial. Life's too short to get upset over stupid things. Here's the General Tso's sauce packet that we put in a bowl of hot water. And then in went the breaded pieces of chicken. The oven directions said to cook at 400 degrees for 15 to 17 minutes. So since the air fryer cooks a little bit faster than the oven, I put them into the air fryer at 400 degrees for 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, our breaded chicken was ready. So of course we had to try a piece before we sauced it. And I have to be honest with you, the people. I eat the Realgood plain chicken tenders all the time, and I absolutely love them. They are indeed 100% real pieces of chicken, not a form meat slurry concoction. The chickpea flour the chicken's breaded with doesn't get super crispy like wheat flour does, but you do get some nice little crispy tidbits on each piece. In my family, there's mixed reviews on the plain Realgood chicken tenders. One daughter loves them like I do. My other daughter really dislikes them. The only thing I dislike about the chicken tenders by themselves is, as you can see, you get a whole lot of tidbits of tiny pieces of chicken, which end up being delicious, but it's more breading than chicken. I eat these as a treat once a week with my favorite sugar-free G. Hughes Smokehouse barbecue sauce. It feels like a keto cheat meal without cheating. So enough about that, let's get these tossed in the General Tso sauce and see how they taste. Now, even though I don't like pro tips, and I'm a rebel and I don't like following directions, I didn't even see the pro tip until I started editing the video. So rather than finishing them off in the skillet, we added the chicken to the bowl along with the General Tso sauce and gave it a good toss until all the chicken was coated. And as far as I was concerned, it turned out just fine. Once the chicken was tossed and thoroughly coated with the General Tso sauce, using our famous fork-a-soo, we shanked our first piece of chicken like a prison snitch. And out of all the very large pieces of chicken, for some reason, we shanked a small piece, and it looked and it smelled amazing. So you guys know the deal. Into the old pie hole and down the gullet it went. I already knew the chicken was going to be delicious, so at this point I was mainly focusing on the General Tso sauce, which the very first thing I noticed about the General Tso sauce was it was very vinegary. I happen to love vinegar, so the more the merrier. If you're not a big fan of vinegar, you may not like these. The second thing I noticed was the sauce had a great flavor, but it wasn't very sweet at all. So depending on whether or not you like your General Tso sauce very sweet or not so sweet, will be your deciding factor. I don't like it to be really sweet, but I thought it could use a little more sweetness. And you guys know me, I'm not real big on spicy food. The heat level and flavor were very good. I'm not sure if I got some pepper seeds or what, but it was just at my heat limit. And that's not to say it's going to be spicy for everyone. But like I said, personally, it was almost too spicy for me. Which basically means it has the same heat level as a jalapeno pepper. So here's my review of the Realgood General Tso's chicken. The big pieces of chicken were high quality, moist and tender pieces of chicken. But unfortunately, like you saw in the video, it had a whole lot of little tidbits of chicken, which were more breading than it was chicken. I loved the tangy vinegar flavor mixed with a pretty subtle sweetness and just the right amount of heat. The price would be perfect if they sifted through the tidbits of chicken and replaced them with a couple bite-sized pieces of chicken. So even with all of that said, I really enjoyed the Realgood General Tso's chicken, and I would certainly buy it again, which is why I'm giving the Realgood General Tso's chicken a 7 out of 10. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.